Hey gang, this is a video response to the instructions that Opie put out about doing a locked brummel end. I'm actually going to use some mason's line, which is very difficult to thread through, but I can do it. I'm going to use this for my guy lines, and I thought I would go ahead and do a video showing how I do it. Cut a piece of mason's line about 3 feet long. I'm going to use these for my shorter tie-outs. And what I've done is I've marked at 4 inches, which is this is the end I'm going to bury, and then at 7 inches, this is the length of my loop. And you can use any size that you want. You just have to determine what you, how long you want to do things. So I have a needle. It depends on what I'm doing as far as what needle I'll use, but for the mason's line, this is adequate. It's got a fairly good size eye in it there. I don't know if you can see that, which is great for the ends of this. I can just tuck them in and then pull through. So I go ahead and I find my mark that I made at 7 inches, and what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll feed my needle through there. And what you want to do is make sure that you're not intersecting any of the weave, and that you have even amounts on either side of the needle, so you're going like right through the center of the line there. And then what you do is you take the end that you're going to bury and you go ahead and insert it into your eye there. So I'm going through with a second mark up. I've inserted into my needle, and then you go ahead and pull through. Now I've pulled through, and what you want to do is you want to pull through all the way until you reach your 4-inch mark, or whatever first mark you have, which is here. And so what you end up with is, this is the standing line here, which is your long line going way out, and then this is the side that you're going to bury. Okay? And then what you do is you find your 4-inch mark, or the inch that's closest to the bury end, and you want to actually insert your eye. You can go the other way too. You can insert your needle this way if you want, and go through that way. But it's just as easy to insert your eye through here. Alright, so I've got my needle inserted. Again, this is your standing line, which goes out to the rest of your cord. This is the part that you're going to bury. And then you find the end of your standing line, and you insert that into your eye. Okay. And then you go ahead and pull that through. Okay. So you end up with something that looks like this. And let me go ahead and pull it a little bit more so you can see what it really looks like here. Okay. So this is what it's going to look like. You want to make sure you have it looking like that. Okay. You go ahead and pull this through. And then all you got to do is just pull it so that this is really nice and tight, so that the ends come together. Just like that. Next up is burying your bury line. Now, because this is mason's line, and you know it's pretty small, you know, and I'm not too worried about, you know, the amount of force that's going to be put on it, because these are just going to be used for my tarp guy lines. And so, you know, if I end up breaking one, I'm going to have a couple extra with me, but I don't really think it's going to be a problem. So I'm not going to worry about tapering my end on this one. Now, if I was doing this with AmSeal or something like that, then I would go ahead and taper down the end here. But I'm not going to worry about it for this. And there are other instructions on the forum that tell you how to taper. It's pretty simple. But I'm not going to do that for this. So I'm going to go way past here, go to here. Again, taking your eye, wherever the eye is, you want to insert it in, And then you just slowly work it up. And I just go ahead and, you know, go ahead and press it up and loosen this up. And I'll just keep going. Just like that. You can kind of see how I'm doing it. So I'm just kind of loosening up the weave so that it'll slide in really good. And then there will be a point where it'll keep springing back on me like that. And I don't want it to do that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to take my other finger and help hold it as I go here. There we go. Okay, and see how it's getting all nice and loose? It kind of looks like a snakeskin in a way. Kind of cool. And this is just a fun little project, you know, if you got 5 or 10 minutes here and there, you can just kind of make yourself some locked brummels. Okay, so when I get to the end here, you can see I'm going to actually exit my line right at the base of where the berry comes out right here. Okay. Now the other thing you have to be kind of careful of is now, since I've got so much built up here, if I let go here, it's going to go shooting off. Not a big deal because I can re-thread it through, but it's kind of a pain. I try not to do that. Okay, then what you do is you take your berry end, go ahead and insert that into your eye. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start feeding that back down through. Oops, I almost lost it there. Woo. See what I mean? It's kind of tough. Okay, so now I've got it feeding through here. Okay. I keep going until I pull out the end here. Okay. Go ahead and pull your needle off. And now what you want to do is you want to grab that end, your berry end, and grab your loop and give it a good strong tug, just to make sure you got everything nice and tight in there. Okay? And then, when you get done doing that, you want to take it and start milking your line down here. Just like that. And that is all there is to it, other than the tapering, like I said, which if it was a bigger strand, I would do that. But that's it. So now what I'm going to do is I'll take this out and I'll either put this on my tent stake. I'm actually going to do a locked brummel on the other side, on the other end too. And I'll put one on my tent stake, and then I'll have one on my tarp. And I'll probably go ahead and add some shot cord as well here to do that. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and do that while we're here. I've gotten some 3/32 seconds shot cord that I'm going to use in concert with my Mason's line. And I've gone ahead and I've cut it at about 5 inches long. And my original length that I cut my guy lines is 3 feet. So what I will do is I will take one end and I'll make a nice strong loop in there. And then I'm going to take the end of one of the ends of my Mason's cord, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm actually going to make a clove hitch. So what you do is you curl it counterclockwise, then grab the next one, curl it counterclockwise, and you've created yourself a loop there. And you go ahead and put your shot cord through. I'm going to go ahead and tighten everything up. Okay, so now we've got a nice tight hitch there. And you butt that up right up to the end of where you created your first knot. And you make a knot in the other end. And these are getting a little bit ratty. I'm going to melt those back a little bit. I'm going to do the same thing with this one. There we go. Alright, so I got my end. I've got my little knot that I did here. I've got my closed hitch. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull this through. And I'm actually going to hold right on the second knot that I made. I'm going to go ahead and just pull that out, and meanwhile I'm going to be holding on to the mason's line so that I know roughly where I want to put it. And you want to pull it out not so it's like the fullest length, but about to where you got some good tension. About 3/4 of its tension is pulled through. Okay? And then I'm actually going to mark where I had that because I am notorious for losing my place. I'll mark it. And we do the same thing. We have our mark. Okay, we do a counterclockwise loop. Okay. And then we do another counterclockwise loop. Actually, I'm going to go a little bit further up. So we have our mark. We'll do a counterclockwise loop. Just the one side of the mark. We'll do another counterclockwise loop. Okay. We'll go and feed our second knot through there. Make sure the knot gets all the way through there. And cinch it up as tight as you can. Give it a good tug. Get it right up next to that knot. And there you go. And so I'm actually, I went ahead and mocked up a little model here for you to see. So let's pretend that this is one of the tie-outs for my tarp. Okay, so what I would do is I'd put a little piece here that has a prusik knot on the end. Okay, and off to one side I've got the side with the shock cord, and off to the other side I've got it just plain. Cranky Bear on the forums had the great idea about doing it this way, and I think that this is the way he has his set up. Now, the cool idea, cool factor here about this, when you're camping, if you want to tie out longer and have, you know, the shock cord option, you basically can slide it this way so that you just end up with your, you know, small loop here, and then you tie out, and you tie out on this side and stake out, and then, you know, you've got your shock cord option, right? And then if you want to tie out really close to the ground, you basically can slide this over even further, and then you just tie out like that. So pretty cool idea. I really like it a lot, so I'm gonna try it out. I need to get some smaller line for here, but I really like that idea, and I'm gonna definitely try it out and see if it works. So cool idea. Thanks, Cranky Bear, for that. It's very cool. Okay, so here's so you can see the whole thing. Got one of our loops. This is the non-shock cord side. Goes through a prusik knot, which goes to your tarp. Then on the other side you have your shock cord side, again with another loop. Pretty cool idea. Good idea. Yep.